Welcome to Haken, an Animal Crossing podcast, your podcast dedicated to all things Animal Crossing. Episode 173 is brought to you by Sevan, Nate Lai, and Kyle Stewart, some of our newest Patreon patrons. This week, Nina, Sergio, and I are going to give our impressions of the Mario items, give some advice to players returning to Autumn, and give a quick update to our islands and what is going on these days. So to begin, hello Nina, how are you doing?
I'm doing all right. The weather has my sinuses acting up, but I'm working on it. It'll be good.
Yeah, that's rough. Always a tough change to spring for sure.
Yeah.
And then, hi Sergio, how are you doing?
Hi Chuy, hi Nina. I'm doing pretty good. You know, it's cloudy here. It's kind of a little bit windy. It's gonna rain in a few days, so it's nice. It's nice for once.
Nice.
That's good. Yeah, every time Jackie and I log in and it's just like a nice little cloudy or foggy or rainy day in Animal Crossing, we're just like, this is the best. Why can't it just always be like this? Yeah.
One day I'll see the fog. I want to so bad.
It's so good. If you all want, you should check out my dream address because I saved it during a thunderstorm and it is wild. I was like, there's a thunderstorm right now. I'm going to go upload my dream right this instant. Yeah. So let's actually hop in and start talking about all of the latest stuff. And we're going to start here with our impressions of Mario in New Horizons. As you all know, the Mario update is alive and well. And last week we didn't quite talk about it because we didn't really have too much time to mess with these items, order a bunch of them quite yet. So this week, we figured now that we have some of them and have gotten a little bit of experience, it's time we talk about it. So, the first question I have for both of you is, have you been ordering the Mario items? Sergio, what have you been up to with them?
Yeah, I definitely have as many as I could every day. Like during the first day, I ordered some like for you, Chewy, and then for a friend of mine. And then after that, I've been ordering them for my collection. And just barely today, I was able to order the last two items that I needed. Some of the rugs. So yeah, it's been a process, but we're keeping at it every day.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's been the same thing for me. The difficulty I've been having is remembering where I left off in ordering.
Yes.
My first thought was like, all right, maybe I'll start with the stuff that I really like the most. And then I was like, no, I will never remember what I have and what I don't have. I'm going to have to do this in order. And so just every day, it was like 5 new things. I mean, of course, the first things I ordered were a couple of pipes and some of the mushrooms because I knew I needed those.
Yes.
And I was like, I wasn't going to forget that I ordered those of all the items. And so since then, it's literally been just me going down the list. But I got a little lost yesterday. And I was like, all right, I've gone down the list. And I don't quite remember where I stopped, and I'm not feeling like walking all the way to my house and figuring that out right now. So I'm going to go to the bottom of the list and order there.
Oh,
There you go.
So, yeah, I did order up yesterday, but today I had to look at what I've gotten so far, and there was only one thing missing from that. So I was like, all right, this must be it. I think that's good. Because I did do the math a little bit earlier on. I was like, oh, it's going to take me like 4 days to order all of this stuff that I have left. And once that was all figured out, I managed to get everything. I mean, I don't have it all in my possession right now because it still has to, send to me tomorrow. But as far as ordering them all, I've done it.
Nice. Even if you wait to get the items in your mailbox, so you pick them up, right, and then you open them, they come to your mailbox in reverse order of how you order, if that makes sense. So the last item you order is the first one in your inventory. So it was a little tricky at first, but once I figured that out, I was able to see, okay, so I stopped here. I'm gonna go down the list from that item. It made it a little easier, but yeah, it was tricky for sure.
Interesting.
Yeah, I made it hard for myself in the sense of like in my actual like home inventory, I was also putting other items in there,
Yeah.
so all of my stuff was all mixed up. And I
Yeah.
was just like, there's no organization to this. I almost felt like putting all my stuff away and pulling out just the Mario items so I could
Oh,
like display it and be like, okay,
yeah.
now I know what I have. Yeah. So Nina, I guess have you been ordering them?
I have, and it's such an ordeal, just like you guys are talking about. I mean, you even sent me, Chewy, you sent me 2 of the pipes, so I didn't have to order those. And I'm still not finished ordering through all of them. It's unreal. So it kind of makes me wonder, like, was there a better way for Nintendo to roll out these items? And what's going to happen when we have to do this all over again for the Sanrio items? Because there's going to be even
Oh,
more. I'm
Do we
really
know?
worried about it.
Are they actually going to show up in the promotions tab too?
I don't know. I don't think we've gotten confirmation yet, but if they do, it's gonna be a disaster.
yes.
I feel like they might. I've been really wondering how they're going to handle the distribution of those things because I'm like, we know how the amiibo villagers work at this point, and basically you scan in the amiibo, a villager shows up at your campsite, and after 3 days of inviting them, they will finally say, yeah, I'll move in, right? So it does take a few days to get a villager from there. But like, as far as I know, the only thing that really happens is they do give you a DIY recipe. My first hope was that they would give you a recipe for their items because then it's like a lot easier to keep track of, you know?
Mm.
But the promotions tab, it's kind of a mess trying to keep yourself organized. And basically, I want to make a spreadsheet, is what I'm saying. I want to make a spreadsheet of what I've ordered and keep track of it manually because I had trouble. I got lost while I was ordering these Mario things.
So I've had 2 thoughts. First, just now, but one before. Is this a pain? Which I think yes. Or is this like a blessing in disguise where it's making us want to log back in and order more and it's helping us play for longer? Or is it just awful?
Yeah, I don't know. And I'm kind of wondering too, like the promotion tab might be new to a lot of players. If they have not played Pocket Camp and done the connection with that, where it basically just gives you a code that you put into like the eShop or something,
Right.
those items from the Pocket Camp promotion do pop up in that tab. So
Yeah.
they're still there at the bottom of the list, but it's all definitely like Mario stuff is at the top, you know? I almost feel like they should have, well, I don't know, that'd probably get messy as they add more and more things, but if they added just another tab that was like, here's Mario stuff, here's Pocket Camp stuff,
Yeah.
let's distinguish them in some way.
I'm surprised
yeah.
that the Pocket Camp stuff are still there, honestly. I mean, I guess I shouldn't be because I've logged in and I've done, like you said, the code or whatever, so like they'll always be there, but I wasn't expecting them to always be there.
Yeah, yeah. And I don't know. I imagine they won't leave. I think if they ever did, people would be very upset because like there's some pretty great items in there that you'll see around people's islands to this day. So, especially like the pocket campers, like the vans, you know, those are
Yeah.
so great for people doing like those forced perspective tiny
Yeah.
towns on their islands. So I don't think they'll ever get rid of them. It seems like that's their plan with the Mario stuff as well. So this promotion tab is just, it's only going to get messier.
Okay, here's my other thought that I think would be super cute, and I just came up with it. But what if when you scanned in the Sanrio amiibos, instead of them going to your campsite, which maybe you can choose, go to your campsite so you can have them move in, or what if they set up like a little vendor stand, like Kix and Mabel, and then you can just buy the stuff from their little text box. That could be super cute.
Yeah, that'd be adorable. I would love that. Yeah. I mean, I doubt they'd do it.
No.
But
too good.
but you know, putting the stuff in the promotion tab, like if that is widely available to everybody, like the paid portion is getting the actual villagers, you know, but maybe like this update doesn't really have an unpaid benefit for people who maybe they're not too interested in the Sanrio characters, they're not getting the cards, and there's a limited supply of those cards. I highly
Mm.
doubt they're going to make enough packs to supply 30 million plus players that this game has already sold to.
Yeah.
So I don't think I just think that putting them in the promotions tab is going to be a good way to handle it for anybody who doesn't want to pay for this update, you know?
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we went pretty off topic there. Let's get back into the the Mario things. Are there any cool uses for the Mario items that you've seen or thought of? Nina, do you want to start us off here?
I've seen a bunch of ideas out on Twitter that have kind of blown me away. I'm still not a huge fan of these items, but they kind of seem to be more well received than I thought they were going to be. Especially the floating blocks. People are going nuts over these floating blocks, and I've seen people make like outdoor rooms or caves. I've even seen someone make like a loft bed where it looks like, like a college dorm or something like that. So that just kind of shocked me how creative people were being, like, which it shouldn't have shocked me because the Animal Crossing community is amazing. But even with these, ugly Mario items, they made some really cute stuff out of them.
Yeah. I don't know. I just feel like sometimes I turn this game on and I look at it and I'm just like, why is this game look so good? So many items are just like incredibly better looking in this game than previous Animal Crossing games.
Yeah.
So it's hard not to like a lot of the stuff that people do with them.
I kind of felt the same way. I don't know if you guys remember, but when we were first getting those pictures of the villagers in their new outfits for this game and like their HD, like they're so beautiful. And like even some of the characters who I personally did not like the look of, I was all of a sudden like, who is this cutie? Like all of these guys can be on my island. So, even the Mario stuff is kind of cool now, which is fun.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel the same about that. Like I think back to the day we got to see that like first look at the updated visual villager designs.
Such a magical day.
They looked so good. Ones that normally you're just like, oh, I don't really care for this one. It looks so much better. Like I don't even understand how people can just like call any villagers ugly at this point anymore. Like I think they all look so good in this game that it's worth loving them all.
Nice.
So Sergio, I guess have you seen any cool things or thought up of any cool uses for the Mario stuff?
So nothing too specific for like a single item, but the ones we've seen on Twitter, for example, is people that make islands that look like a 2D Mario level. Sometimes they even add the music and sound effects, and it almost looks kind of like the game. It's really cool how they implemented the coins so you can grab them, and then the flagpole at the end of the level, So yeah, it's very classic, very Mario. I'm sure there's gonna be people that have that as for their island, and they upload a dream address, so that's cool as well.
Yeah. Did you happen to see the person who made like Rainbow Road on their island?
Oh no, that sounds
I
awesome.
haven't seen that one.
Oh, I retweeted that one. I'll send it to you later, but
Okay.
people are making rainbow roads on their islands and
crazy.
it looks so good. It looks like, man, I'm racing here.
They gave us Mario Maker 3 without asking.
Honestly, I've been thinking about this game in the sense of like nobody asked for an Animal Crossing Maker game, but this is like
Whoa.
close. It's very close with all of the terraforming, moving buildings, basically everything you can do. Like this is an Animal Crossing Maker versus an Animal Crossing, It goes beyond that.
So cool. So, my pirate friend from Twitter, Diablo Shadow, he had that unbelievable pirate island, which he's now flattened and is making his whole island Nintendo themed. I think Super Mario Brothers themed. I'll have to double check. But I just saw some pictures of his where he's doing like the spooky forest with the big trees with the faces. Do you guys remember that part of the game?
Mhm.
He's working on that part right now, and it's just like it's unreal. I can't wait to visit his island when it's finished.
That's so awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, as far as like what I've seen, I told you the Mario Kart thing, but the main thing is something that I thought of. And you, I guess I've gone to a bunch of different dream islands at this point, and I see people kind of using methods to decorate their homes while not utilizing quite every room in the home. So,
Mm.
they'll upgrade to the biggest house so they can get the customization features that unlock based on that. But they'll tend to like put a big bookcase in front of the doorway so you can't
Right.
go to any
Right.
other rooms and everything. I've now been thinking of upgrading every single home on my island to that point so I can actually unlock those like decorative features. But I want to now make use of those closed rooms that couldn't really get accessed by visiting players. So my idea is creating little underground homes where the only way you can get through them to them is through a warp pipe. So you'll take a warp pipe and then you'll pop up inside of a room, like kind of a burrow home kind of thing. And
Cool.
I want to make little rooms that tell little stories of made up characters. Like they're not going to be official playable characters living on my island, but it'll just be like a little storybook type of room for
Yeah.
them.
Nice.
That
So, yeah, that's basically my idea.
I love it. It kind of reminds me what I saw Lemmy, one of our Hakeners online, make the Rossetti Center out of
Mm.
one of his pipe rooms, which was so cute.
That's a great one. Yeah, that's
Mhm.
exactly the kind of thing that I'm looking to do with these now. I mean, the one tough part about it is like you're gonna hop in and come out of a random one, and chances are when you hop back into that pipe and you think you're leaving,
Oh no,
you
that's
may
true.
end up in another room. And so it may take a couple hops before you're actually directed out of there. So that'll be a little bit of trial and error. I'm going to be like,
Yeah.
all right, is this
Mm.
more annoying than it needs to be, or is it worth keeping?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
But I also think like if you pair it up with like a little signboard, because I've
Ooh.
seen people
Mm.
do really clever things where they'll kind of build a cliff around it and then have you jump in from the upper side so it's a little bit more hidden.
Mhm.
But if you pair it with like a signboard or something that indicates like, oh, come into this house or this person lives here, I think that'll be a really cute way to expand those rooms.
Right.
Oh, like Alice in Wonderland.
Exactly. That's kind of the thing.
Cool.
So yeah, if you want to change directions on your island, leave the pirates and go to Alice in Wonderland, you're always welcome to.
You know, if I were to change themes, that would be a good one.
Awesome. So my last question for you about all the Mario stuff here. We may have not been fans of these items at first, but has your mind changed since release? And I'll actually start here. Yeah, I think I like them a lot more than I thought I would. Um, I think the clear standouts for items are the pipes and the floating blocks. I think everybody probably is going to use those well beyond like just doing Mario themed things. So I feel like there's a lot of stuff there. For me, another standout is definitely the mushroom platforms. I
Mm-hmm.
think I think they're like a nice little different type of mushroom that you can use that'll I guess kind of go with some of your other mushroom stuff if you're into that foresty vibe like I am. So
Mm.
I think it looks cuter. People are doing really clever things with them, and I think the possibilities with some of the items are just a lot better than I expected.
Mm.
Yeah. So, Sergio, what are you thinking? Are you a bigger fan of these now?
Yeah, I'm with you. It's in my view of them has improved a little bit. Because the items definitely look better than they did in Uleaf and they're more interactive. And of course, since now people can place them outside, I think there's a lot more potential to do like cool creative things with the items. I still would have preferred anything other than Mario, but Mario is like Nintendo's biggest franchise. So yeah, it was kind of expected.
Hmm.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Animal Crossing's getting pretty close. It's about to beat out Mario Kart,
Yeah, yeah.
so I
Wow.
think that maybe they need to bring Animal Crossing stuff to other games.
Or I was thinking to Animal Crossing.
Yeah, they could bring Animal Crossing to Animal Crossing.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
It's true.
Yeah. So, Nina, how are you feeling about these items?
I mean, if I haven't made my opinion already clear, I mean, they are better than what I expected, but they're still just not something I think I'm going to use on my island. I played around. I mean, I've ordered them all just to have them in my catalog, and
Right.
I made sure to open everything and play with them and interact with them and see which ones can be customized.
Oh.
But and the music cues are super cute, and like you guys said, the animations are really well done too.
Mm.
Especially when you can run under the block, the question block, and it like pops up like you're
Yes.
hitting it. It's adorable. Um, but I don't even like the warp pipes, which obviously are so useful and so fun. I still don't think I'm even sold on them
Oh
just
wow.
because the the look of them are so iconic
Right.
that it just doesn't mesh with me. I don't know.
Mhm.
I've been using the warp pipes this week to search for Gullivar and Gulliver, like to complete my fishing loop, and it has
Yes.
been helpful, but sometimes it spits you out in a weird spot and I don't know. I'm just
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
sold on it all yet. I'm sorry. It's not for me.
Yeah. No, I get it. I get it completely. While we're on warp pipes, I did want to mention like I tried so many things to try to force it to make me go on that fourth level.
Yeah.
Um, that's honestly my dream, like just a non-glitchy, hackable way to get to the fourth level, something official and programmed in by Nintendo, but there was no way to force it at all. Like I tried basically building up to the third level, blocking out all the third level exits and only
Mhm.
keeping the top level accessible. Because I did see that, like, you can get spit out of the warp pipe and then land on the cliff above. So I was
Yeah,
trying to
you can.
recreate
Oh
that
wow.
and
Mm.
make it force me onto the fourth level cliff. But when I did try, it did not spit me out at all. It just took me back into the pipe that I went into. So
Oh.
I also tried like building a cliff around it. That didn't work. So I couldn't find any way to make that happen. And it's clear to me that they probably thought that this was going to be something that people were going to do,
Yeah.
and they weren't wrong. I was here trying it out, but yeah, I could not
Mm.
find a way to make it work, and it makes me a little sad just because we know there are ways up there, and we
Yeah.
know that we can do things while we're up there. Like we can decorate that space pretty fully. There are very few limitations while you're up on the fourth level of the cliff, but the only limitation is that they don't want us to be on the fourth level of the cliff.
Yeah.
And it hasn't been patched out yet, right? You can still glitch up to there?
Yeah, you can still glitch up to there. There's
Hmm.
been zero patching of that at all.
Interesting.
Yeah. So a little bit unfortunate, but that's just how things go.
Yeah.
So let's actually move on and talk about autumn in New Horizons. Last week we were pretty focused on the spring season, the changing things. I mean, I'm sure we'll still mention things like the grass color changing pretty dramatically
Mm-hmm.
since the snow has melted. But we do want to give the Southern Hemisphere listeners some love and talk about some things that are going on there. So for the Southern Hemisphere, it is switching over to autumn, and this is your second time getting to experience autumn, and I'm so jealous because it's my favorite and I want to live in it more, but we're going to give you some tips here. So let's actually start with that. What are some tips you have for players in autumn? Sergio, do you want to start us off here?
Yes, definitely. And this is mostly for brand new players that are experiencing autumn for the first time. Definitely do your best with the seasonal items and the DIYs. Those seasonal items in DIYs are usually really hard to get them all in your first year. So
Mm-hmm.
definitely focus on that. I believe, I don't know, the autumn ones, are they the hardest, or would you guys say the spring blossoms one was a little bit harder?
I had a
I
harder time with fall.
Me too, yeah.
Yeah, I think what happened with the spring blossoms is that the balloon rates were through the roof during
Mm,
that time. Because if you recall, it aligned with Bunny Day, and
Yes,
Bunny
yes.
Day had the sky balloons going on. So there were balloons flying left and right through your island all day. It was impossible not to hit some. And so I think the rates of the drops that we experienced during that time was a lot better. And this probably benefited the Southern Hemisphere quite a bit, where they're, while they're looking for the Bunny Day stuff, they're also getting a lot of huge recipes from
mhm.
this. Like
Right.
autumn is full of them. They're like 3 seasonal specific recipes in autumn, right?
Mhm.
Between the what is it? The acorns,
Mhm.
the pine
Right,
cones,
right.
Mhm.
and the
And the
maple leaves. Like
mushrooms.
there's
Oh, yeah.
mushrooms, right?
And maple
Goodness, there's so
leaves.
many.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh no.
There are so many crafting materials in autumn and so many items that I feel like it only benefited players who started out in that season during the Bunny Day stuff.
Mm,
I kind of doubt we're going to see a Bunny Day that's as balloon heavy this time around.
right.
They already kind of dropped the
Right,
rates
right.
after people were complaining on things. So it probably won't be quite as bountiful, but you know, to some extent, it's very beneficial
Mm.
to have those balloon rates a lot higher than normal.
Plus, not only were they still figuring out the balancing of the game back then, but we were in lockdown, so we had nothing
Hmm.
else to do but play Animal Crossing. So
Our
I,
jobs were Animal
yeah,
Crossing.
so I think that's maybe why the blossoms were so much easier for me. I wasn't working, I wasn't driving, I wasn't
I
doing
mean,
anything.
you're working 16 hours a day on
It's
playing
true.
Animal Crossing.
It's true.
It's hard not to get everything while you're doing that.
Hmm.
um, so, no, but I still think that's great advice. We don't know how we're going to run into these things this year around. So, really go for them because there's so many DIYs for the autumn that just like the 10 cherry blossom recipes, they're over in a jiffy. You'll
Yeah.
get them in no time.
Hmm.
So I guess Nina, do you have any tips for anybody going into autumn?
I just wanted to kind of reiterate what we just said that you're about to work harder than you've ever worked at New Horizons. You need to set yourself some alarms. You need to have your game running in the background at full volume so you can listen for the balloons. You need to hunt for those balloons as if they were a six-fingered man who murdered your father. And just shake the trees, shake all of the trees. You
Oh,
just
yeah.
you gotta go for it.
That the amount of trees I spent shaking
Mm-hmm.
during that, like I literally in my closet right now have 90 acorns and 90 pine cones.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I need to stock up on these. I don't know. I know I'm going to need them later and I don't want to run out.
Mm-hmm.
So I went wild on those.
Mm-hmm. You got to. You got to. Every
Yeah.
day.
Yeah. My piece of advice for anybody playing in the Southern Hemisphere is to help Nina get the rest of those mushroom and maple leaf DIYs. Kidding, but also not kidding. I know
No,
you really want them,
I need
Nina.
them.
But really, like, try to get as many of them as possible. Like, even if you haven't play, or even if you have played through Autumn already and already have a lot of those recipes, these are very nice, rare recipes that you can trade
Mhm.
online with
Mhm.
Oh
people.
yeah.
So collect them. Make sure you have a nice little stockpile of them because they're going to come in handy when you're looking for items in the future. That's going to be really good. I, I guess they're going to be just really good to have for trades. On top of that, I would say take advantage of the season, specifically like collecting those mushrooms and using them as decorations. In past Animal Crossing games, I've really enjoyed collecting the mushrooms, and then instead of selling them, I liked putting them around my island, my town, and just using them more as decor than a crafting material, you know? But this year, I guess last year when I played through Autumn, I didn't do that. And it was basically because, like, you'd find five a day, they were used in recipes. It was something that really wasn't, I don't know, I felt like torn about using them and then not having them later in the future, you know? So I just spent a lot of time stockpiling mushrooms,
Mm.
but this
Mm.
year I'm going to spend a lot more time decorating with them.
Oh, nice. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, I was kind of scared that people were going to steal them if they saw my mushrooms and they came over. So now that I have a nice little stockpile of them in my closet, I'm a little less worried about that. I mean,
Mhm.
I'll still be sad and upset if you steal mushrooms from me. They're my most precious resource, but I'll get over it.
I
I'll have
remember
to.
being worried that the mushrooms were going to count against my town score when they first came out. But they count the same as like dropped sticks and things like that. So you guys don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, that is good. Um, yeah, I think that's what people. I mean, at this point, I'm not worried about a 5-star rating anymore. I've done it. I lived that life. I'm ready to just make my town a mess at this
Yeah.
Nice.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Fungus City.
yeah. So my next question for both of you is, what is something you look forward to when returning to autumn? Since, we're going into spring right now. We kind of talked about our excitement for going into this season, but, just kind of thinking ahead, what are you feeling is going to be cool, Sergio?
So for me, definitely, I'm gonna focus on the advice that we gave. I need to really get working on those seasonal DIYs and items. I missed out last autumn, so
Mhm.
yeah, that's gonna be a challenge, but I'm up for it. And apart from that, Chu, you're gonna agree with this. I'm looking forward to the orangeness a lot
Yeah.
because it was very nice, and it's also the last color that we see for a long time before the snow takes
Yeah.
over. And it takes
Mhm.
Mhm.
over for a while, so we better enjoy the orangeness.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's a long winter for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah. Yeah, that's good. Nina, what are you looking forward to with that season?
I'm looking forward to the cutest weeds of the year returning. They're just the
Mm.
best ones. And I mean, I'm not even waiting for autumn to put mushrooms out. As soon as the snow melted in my town, I started putting out mushrooms.
Oh, nice.
Um, and I just love the villagers in sweaters. I realize that we're leaving the sweater weather right now, and we're about to start seeing them like in tank tops again, but they just look the cutest in sweaters. And, I'm a devoted servant of Jack, the czar of Halloween. So I got all that fun stuff coming back out again and the pumpkins.
Oh.
I love fall. Fall's the best.
You know what? That's totally true. Like, we got this game in the spring and went through summer, and you spend so much time in short sleeves. And
Yeah.
the big thing with this game is that the villagers have sleeves now.
That's
All you
true.
want to do is see them in
Yeah.
those sweaters. So we
That's
had to wait
true.
so long to get that experience, and now I'm looking forward to it again. I mean, I'm still wearing sweaters and long sleeves now, but
Nice.
I know I'm starting to look at my wardrobe and thinking I gotta sell some of this stuff and switch back to my spring wardrobe in this game.
Okay, on the opposite end of that spectrum, yes, they're amazing in sweaters, but also one of my favorite new details is if you put the villagers like in the tank tops or like the workout clothes that almost look like a sports bra, you can see so much more of their patterns that you could never see before, like on their
Mm.
arms and on their like little tummies and stuff.
Yeah.
So I will say it's super cute to get to see more of their little patterns.
Yeah, that's true. Grizzly does have a very cute tummy when he's wearing a t-shirt.
You gotta give him those tank tops. They're so cute.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, so as far as like what I'm looking forward to in the autumn, it's definitely decorating with the mushrooms, but specifically like collecting more mushrooms. Because as much as I talked about like how I have a little stockpile of them now, I want more.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna focus on collecting even more
Mm-hmm.
and definitely crafting a lot more with these. Like I was seldomly crafting with them just because I was like, do I save it for decor or do I turn it into decor? Who knows? This is a constant struggle for me. Yeah.
I love it
So my
though.
last question for you both in regards to this one's kind of more general for the seasons, but what do you think would improve the seasons in year 2 of New Horizons? And I'll actually start with this one. I would personally really like to see more seasonal items and rewards, specifically like Nook Miles redemption rewards, because now that I've played this game for a year, I kind of feel like I have seen it. I've seen all of this stuff, and I am ready for new stuff to be in the game. And so I think the Nook Miles have this opportunity to bring in some, I guess, rewards that feel like you have to earn them through playing the game. Like that's kind of what I just want. I want more people to get back into the game and be like, "Oh yeah, I'm going fishing again so I can get the next Nook Miles so I can order these items." Or I want them to get back into that love for doing the little tasks in the game. And I feel like seasonal items in those things would do that to some extent. So,
Yeah.
be it spring, summer, fall, winter, I think if they added more seasonal stuff, it would keep people coming back for longer periods of time throughout the year.
Mm.
Yeah. So, Sergio, I guess what are you thinking? What would you like improved?
I would like to see minor changes, but if Nintendo did this on purpose, if they decided not to talk about them like on update showcase videos or even like on social media, if they just kept it hidden from everyone until the players find out that Nintendo's changed a couple of things here and there.
Ooh.
For example, the villagers could talk more about seasonal events or just how the weather is, or they could just have seasonal food, out and about, how they eat donuts or sandwiches. Maybe they could have something that is season related. So little things like that, just to change it up a little bit, without advertising it, so that we kind of figure it out on our own, and then we spread the word.
Oh, that would
Yeah.
be so cute. Little guerrilla marketing, Nintendo style.
Yeah, that would be really awesome. I love all that stuff where it's just players discovering
Yeah.
things. That's always great.
Mm. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, what if they partnered with Disney and then you could like carry around a little churro or a little Mickey ice cream popsicle?
I
That
need
would be
it.
the
I need it
cutest.
now. I need it now. How many times have I told you and Edwin, like, when this pandemic is over, we're all going to Disney World?
No, Disneyland.
Both.
Both, okay.
We've never been to World, and you've never been to Land, right?
We just gotta meet on the opposite coasts.
Both. Sergio, you in? You want to come?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Churro.
Yeah. Everybody is invited.
Okay.
We're gonna make this
Nice.
happen. It'll be the official meeting place for Haken,
Oh
the
my
Animal Crossing
gosh.
convention.
Yes. We're gonna have a Haken meetup. We can have a Haken
Yep.
meetup on Space Mountain.
That'd be perfect. So yeah, Haken coming to you in a world without pandemics.
In 2026.
Exactly. Yeah. So Nina, I guess what would you like improved for the seasons in year 2?
I mean, now that I've said churros, I don't know what else I could add. But
More food
honestly,
items.
more food items. That was such a good idea, Sergio. Um, I, I just want new things. I'm worried. Um, we're not going to get as much new stuff as we're thinking in year 2. It's been a very long time since that interview with Aya.
Mhm.
Things could have changed, and
Mm.
I just I just want there to be something different, especially with the holidays. So I don't know. I can't put my finger on it other than Disney snacks. Just something new.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I'm with you. Pretty good stuff. All right, so let's go ahead and move into our next topic, and we're just going to give you all a quick island update. Talk about what we're doing on our islands these days and how our gameplay's going. So, Nina, do you want to kick us off here?
Sure. I'm not going to be the best person to kick this off with because I've kind of gotten into another playing slump. I've going back to time traveling backwards through the week and catching back up, looking for each day's special visitor, maybe talking to a couple neighbors and ordering the Mario stuff, but then just moving on to the next day. Because I've been playing so many other games lately. Littlewood came out and I've been obsessed with it. And Sea of
Hmm.
Thieves has the fishing tournament that's going on. So I've been fishing a lot in Sea of Thieves. And I don't know. I just need to get back into it. I know that Quantrell, who's in our Haken Discord, tells me, because he's a teacher also, tells me, just play for a few minutes right before bed, but usually as soon as I am in bed, I'm asleep. So that's really hard for me to do. But I don't know. I'm kind of enjoying the look of all the new changing colors, like you were saying earlier. Um,
Hmm.
I'm seeing my villagers who were new in the winter, like I made their yards in the winter. So now getting to see these yards in springtime colors is almost like a brand new island. So I have been enjoying that, but I got to get back into playing some more.
Yeah. I'm always a first thing in the morning kind of person with Animal Crossing. Like when I'm into the game, like when it first comes out,
Mhm.
I just like it to be the way I start my day?
Yeah.
So I tend to just like, I wake up, I scroll through Twitter a little bit while I'm
Mhm.
waking up, and I'm like a little groggy still, but then all of a sudden I'm up, and then I'm just like, yeah, let's get some Animal Crossing going to start my day here. And yeah, that's personally how I like to do it. But you just find a way to fit it into your schedule. And I feel like you've
Mhm.
been doing, pretty well with just doing the backwards time travel thing too.
Yeah, yeah, it works for me for now. But looking forward to getting back in a routine. That's always my favorite is when I'm in a routine with Animal Crossing.
Hmm. Yeah, it's just part of your life.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Sergio, I guess what's going on your island these days?
So, I think I mentioned on a previous episode, I definitely went for it. I spent a lot of time cleaning up Castaño. So on Sunday, I spent about 2 hours just getting rid of extra flowers, some DIYs that I hadn't yet given away, so they were just there on the ground and they didn't look nice. So just cleaning that up. There were a lot of diggy spots everywhere that I hadn't dug up before. There were a lot of weeds too, so I just got rid of all of that. I'm almost done. Basically, I started from the bottom center of the island and I went clockwise. And
Hmm.
if you
Mhm.
go like that, I'm basically at 5 p.m. So I'm almost done. Just a little section of the island pending. And then I'm going to rebuild the community pool, close off some pads that I kind of removed, like we said, for snow rolling areas. So I'm going to build those
Mm.
back up. And then I'm going to turn the pads like a little bit green, like a green wood
I
Mm.
love
type of look.
it.
So yeah, it's gonna look awesome. Everything's gonna be perfect, and I'm gonna re-upload the dream address so that
Mm.
Castaño is like nice and shiny for spring.
That's
That's awesome.
exciting.
Have you been doing Dream Address for each season?
Not intentionally, but it actually worked out that way. Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, I've been doing it just whenever I feel like, oh, here's something cool
Mm.
Nice.
to upload. So the last one, there's going to be a bunch of junk all over my floor because I'm still kind of holding on to Medi's things. He restarted his island recently
Oh.
Wow.
and, kept some stuff just, to get him started on the new one.
Right.
So
Right.
but if you go to my dream address once again, thunderstorm, really cool. Really special occurrence for sure.
Because you didn't get a lot of those over the summer, did you?
No, I didn't. I don't think I got a single one. I
Wow.
might have
Oh.
gotten like one for a second, but
Hmm.
really it was a super new thing for me.
It's your
Yeah.
fog.
I do have gotten some fog, which is really nice, and I do enjoy that. My last stream address was actually saved during a very foggy day.
Ooh.
Ah,
So I try to capture a lot of the really wild weather that you can get in this game.
yeah, it's the best.
Yeah. So as far as my plans go, I've been working pretty hard on decorating around my island. I've been establishing my villager spaces a lot more. I've been kind of working from the bottom left corner up. I think I'm just going up the left side at this moment,
Mm.
and I'm just filling in spaces, trying to make them a little bit more scenic and everything. I want to have something pretty nice to show when the 1 year anniversary rolls around. I want to do kind of like here's when I started, here's where I started, here's what it is now kind of thing. I mean, I doubt I have too much footage from the early on times because I was too busy playing to record things, which I don't regret. I am very glad I got to spend as much time as I did with this game. Um, but yeah, I do want to, hopefully show like a year update. Here's what my island looks like after over 1,000 hours and a lot of, just living through the game.
I
So
can't
Yeah.
wait. You're going to have to mention when you flattened it, too.
yeah, that was a huge project that
Hmm.
took all summer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it really took a change of season for me to get back into it,
Hmm. But I mean,
Yeah.
so it's, yes, you have 1,000 hours and it's been a year, but it's almost like you've had even less time to make Haken so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that's kind of true. I mean, I think I've played, I don't know, I guess I don't know how many hours I had by the time I flattened it
Mm.
before now. So that'd be interesting. I'd have to, yeah, I don't know if I wish there were, the 3DS had such a cool way of tracking your playtime and
Yeah.
everything. Why can't we get that on the Switch and really
Mm.
be able to look through our stats and relive exactly how long we've played on days,
I do miss the town tree.
Oh, yeah.
It
I
would be
want.
cool if just one of your trees in town grew enormous
Ooh.
randomly.
Hmm. I think I want all the trees to just kind of grow to different sizes,
Yeah.
varying
Yeah.
sizes of large,
Hmm.
I think that'd be cute. And maybe some that just like, oh, this one's gonna be little. It's a little tree. um, yeah, I think overall we need Leaf to get an update and introduce new trees and new bushes, new greenery in general,
That'd
because
be
I
Yes.
feel
so
like
cool.
that would really change up the things we can do on our islands. Birch
Mm.
trees from Pocket Camp, need
Yeah.
them.
Ferns, like lower bushes. That'd be cool.
Yeah. Big weeping willows.
Oh,
Perfect.
oh my gosh.
Perfection.
Hmm.
Yeah. So we're going to go ahead and hop over to Haken's Islander Corner. For those of you who don't know, typically every week we ask our patrons a question, but this week we actually did not bring a question for them. So we are asking it live here on Discord instead for anybody listening at this moment. So a little bit of interaction for all of you
Yeah.
listening now.
Come join
But-
Haken Discord if you haven't already.
Yeah, come join Haken's Discord. And before we get into the question, I should apologize that we don't have a question this week, but I hope you enjoyed the special sneak peek to the video series that I have releasing on March 11th. So anybody not supporting on Discord or on Patreon and wants an early look at what I've been brewing, you can go there for a look. But the first 3 episodes are ready. There's one available to patrons already, and I'm really excited to work more on this project, and hopefully you all enjoy it as well when it comes out and celebrates basically the 1 year anniversary of Animal Crossing New Horizons. So,
Nice.
yeah, be sure to, tune in there if you're interested. Anyways, let's get into this question. For all of you listening right here live on Discord, the question is, Tom Nook has put you in charge of the spring update. What do you bring to New Horizons in this update? So we'll give you all a little moment to answer that. You are now in charge. Tom Nook, he's getting ready to retire at this point. It's been a long year. He's done a lot of work with a lot of islands, but he wants you to put some effort into this too. So, yeah, feel free to leave us your answers. We'll read some of them live here. But I guess while you do that, Sergio, what do you think you would do for a spring update?
The first thing I thought of was allergies.
Oh
I don't know if that's something we want in New Horizons.
Oh my
Perfect.
gosh. You walk outside and just start sneezing.
Yeah.
Yeah, uncontrollable sneezes. Just kind of like how the luck mechanic worked in Animal
Oh,
Crossing
yeah.
New Leaf, where
Yeah.
you'd run around and you just fall down. Um, and just every once in a while you stop and sneeze.
Or you'd
That'd
get
be-
out of the ocean and you would shiver.
Yeah, that was adorable. I love
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Nino, what are you thinking with this? What would you
Oh
update?
man. I'm I just need cuter items for Bunny Day, please.
Yes.
Yes, Nina, yes.
That was too
Hon-
easy of an answer, but oh gosh,
It's the perfect answer.
please.
Yeah.
We're all thinking it.
I've
I think
never in any Animal Crossing game have ever enjoyed the Bunny Day furniture.
Mhm.
What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say that, I think it's really unfortunate that Bunny Day had such terrible items because the concept itself to me was great.
Yes, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I personally I didn't mind that we were getting interrupted in our fishing by catching some fish egg
Yeah.
every once in a while. I learned the shadow size to avoid, and I was like, I ain't catching that. I don't need no fish eggs.
I can spot an
And-
egg when I see it.
Yeah, you can't fool me just because you're underwater and trying to look like a fish. So for me, I personally really liked that it took over the island. I
Yeah.
love that events can do that, and I would personally love if the rest of the events did that too. Just take over the island, make it something wild,
Yeah.
Make it something we can't escape.
Yeah.
And I'm down.
And there's so many people who love like pastel things, who also play Animal Crossing. Like there's a big overlap in that
Mhm.
Venn diagram. So why not just make like really cute pastel things for these people? Let's just cuten it up a little bit instead of it being kind of in your face. Like eggs.
Yeah, no, you're right.
The lamp
Yeah.
is an egg. The couch is an egg. The table is an egg.
I don't understand how they missed so badly with these because the other items that we got throughout all the other events, fantastic.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
They were all the other items were so good. And just to see Bunny Day kick us off, oh, it didn't work. It didn't work.
It kicked us
Our-
off and then kicked us.
Yeah. All right. So we do have some answers here. I guess I'll just start reading some of them here. So Quantrell, first answer, really great answer. Definitely agree with this. Happy Home Academy on the second floor of Town Hall. Not the not the Academy. Nook's Homes. So Nook's Homes on the second floor of Town Hall. Perfect. I mean, the Academy was fine too, but Nook's Homes, I think, does bring in something that we desperately need for this game. It has just way more home customizations.
Right.
Yeah.
And especially ones that are more customizable over time. Because I loved that in Happy Home Designer, we could basically pick different size rooms for our villagers. And I would love that for our homes in this one. Like, we didn't really get any size options in this game for our rooms. Like, we got just the size they are, and that was it. And now I'm just like, I want to change all of my rooms to this cool rectangular size that the upstairs and downstairs are.
Yeah.
Or make one really small, a little small rectangle,
Yeah.
So I think that's a cool one. Sergio, do you want to read this next one from Islander Squee of Tortuga?
Yes, so Squeeze said, I would introduce more cherry blossom items, give Leaf a shop where he can take care of our flowers, trees, and bushes for us, and sell us more plants like the ones in the museum, and give all the special characters lunch breaks so I can interact with them outside. And maybe Blather takes a dinner break instead since he's snoozing all day.
Aw.
Later on, Squee also said, oh, and let me swim in the big tanks in the museum. Maybe I could work there cleaning the glass? I love that last part.
That's
man.
wonderful.
And they could each have their own like lunches. Like Isabel totally would have made her own lunch, whereas maybe the Nook boys order it out. I don't know.
That's really cute. I mean, I'm definitely on the record of early on in this podcast before this game came out where I'm like, I want my villagers to get jobs.
Yeah.
And everybody was like, you're making your villagers work. And I'm like, come on. They've been living it up for 4 games
They
already.
have.
Like, give them a job in the 5th one,
They
right?
need to start paying for those donations, all the things that we're building.
Yeah.
Yeah, who's going to pay for this? Clearly, it's us. Yeah, so Nina, do you want to read this next one from 2Meg?
Yeah, so Tumek says, mini games. I just want more ways to play with people. What is the point of having 8 people on an island when all we can do is hit each other's with nets? I want to play games with people. Please, thank you. I totally
Yeah,
agree.
Definitely.
They teased us when they showed us 8 people on an island and then didn't give us mini games.
It feels like that has to be coming at some point. I still believe it in my heart. Somebody pointed out that there were 8 seats in the airport.
Yeah.
Come on, that's got to mean something. That has got to mean something. Yeah, so our next answer is from Arcane Flame, and they said, I'd put in more villager interactions, house visits, more games like the return of hide and seek, more dialogue and dialogue options, just basically a lot of things to let us interact with our villagers more.
Yes.
Yeah, I think, you know what? I've found ways to get like pretty nice dialogue out of villagers, but it kind of involves you logging in to the game multiple times a day in order to experience them. And so it can be a little bit difficult to get a lot of the interesting dialogue, but like if they add more types of interactions, I think that definitely does open that up a little bit more and at least makes it kind of replaces the difficulty of finding dialogue with basically having more to do.
Right.
If you're playing hide and seek with your villagers, it's so cute and you don't know where they're going to show up on the island,
Yeah.
Yeah, especially a space that you've like so freely decorated for yourself, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Cool. So I think we have another answer here from Sunshine Sprout. Sergio, do you want to read that one?
Yes, so Sunshine Sprout said, cooking and making special dishes with ingredients we can gather around the island. Kind of like Thanksgiving. That was so fun. And we can give what we make to our villagers as gifts.
Oh,
Yes,
cute.
definitely. That sounds awesome.
Yeah, and this is another feature that I'm surprised isn't in Animal Crossing quite yet. Like, we got a gardening mechanic that it resembles how trees grow very much still, the pumpkins and everything. They're basically a little short, squat tree. But I'm really surprised that it didn't go into like making actual like cooking dishes. I'm still kind of. This is another one where I'm expecting it to show up a little bit later, and I do think that we're going to see more crops in the game and probably a cooking mechanic because we're still missing so many like food items.
Right.
People want to make kitchens and stuff, and it just doesn't feel like we've gotten them to that point quite yet because there's just no food items.
Though the new little
Yeah.
pie is really cute.
Yes, so cute.
Yes. Yeah.
I've ordered like 5 of them, not gonna lie. As soon as I had ordered, at least as soon as I figured out that I'd ordered all the Mario stuff today, I ordered another couple pies.
Yeah.
Nice.
You know,
Yeah.
Sunshine Sprout's answer also reminds me of in Pocket Camp when certain villagers have their favorite types of food. So it'd be really cute if they had the same sort of mechanic in New Horizons, where
Oh.
like if you make something with one type of ingredient, then the cranky villagers will really like it or something like that. I think that'd be cute. And you could get more friendship points or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be great. I would love that.
You gotta crank out those photographs.
For sure. Well, thank you all so much for tuning in to this episode of Haken, an Animal Crossing podcast. Don't want the episode to end? Well, you can keep the conversation going by Nintendo switching over to our Discord. Just follow the link in the description, and you can talk with other people who love Animal Crossing as much as you do, including Sergio, Nina, and me. Want to support the show in a bigger way and get your voice heard during the show? Visit patreon.com/ChuiPlaysNintendo. You can support our show with just $1, get special access to a secret room on Discord, join in on the Haken Islander Corner, and even read a monthly newsletter covering all things Haken and Chuy Plays. We really appreciate the support and put your money towards some great things on the show. Tuned in on YouTube? The comments are a great place to let us know your answers to the Haken Islander Corner. Tom Nook has put you in charge of the spring update. What do you bring to New Horizons? If you dig what you hear, please KK slide over to that review section on your platform of choice. Let people know what they're missing out on. Haken is a Wild production brought to you by Chuy, Sergio, Nina, and all of our patrons. We thank you for listening, and we hope you have a great week.
Goodbye, everybody.
See you all next time.